Hi, I'm John Gilstrap, author of the Jonathan Grave thriller series, and I am pleased to report that it's finally done. Scorpion Strike, the 11th book in the Jonathan Grave series, is finally in the can, all 114,000 words and change of it. Which brings me to the topic of this episode of A Writer's View of Writers in Publishing. I've gotten some interest from people who have asked me just how long is a book supposed to be. So let's talk about word count. The one thing that is not measured in professional publishing, at book length publishing, is the number of pages. Frankly, with word processing, you can goose the number of pages by playing with the font, however you want to do it. So what we really talk about is word count. So how long is a book supposed to be? Well, the answer is it depends on what kind of book you're writing. By industry standards, the thrillers that I write are supposed to be somewhere between 80 and 100,000 words. This came in at 114,000 words. Literary fiction, women's fiction is somewhere between 80,000 and 100,000. Romance can vary widely from like 40,000 to 100,000 because within the romance market, there are some very niche publishers who have really strict guidelines. The Silhouettes and the Harlequins, I've never written for them, so I'm sort of repeating things that I have heard, but they have some very, very strict guidelines that come in very small. Mysteries can go somewhere between 70,000 and 100,000. Cozy mysteries, which are the ones that more the Miss Marple kind of story, they tend to come in much smaller. 70 to 75,000 words. Fantasy, horror, science fiction, I don't really know. I've never written in that genre, but judging from the books of J.R.R. Martin and some of the others, it seems that they have a pretty high top end. Then you got your novellas that come in somewhere around 20 to 30,000 words. Young adult or YA fiction comes in somewhere around 50 to 80,000 words. So, it's all over the board. And at one level, it seems unimportant. Tell the story and tell the story until the story is done. And I will tell you, as a professional writer who's been doing this for a long time, those genre limits apply less to me simply because I have a track record of writing stories that work. If you're new to this business, or if you're trying to break into the business, the genre word count is important, if only because you don't want to give a prospective agent or editor a reason to reject your offering out of hand. If you're going to turn in a YA book that is, 200,000, if turning anything as 200,000 words, it's going to get rejected, as it should be. That's just too much book, in my estimation. But remember, as a new writer, you're an untried entity, an unknown entity. And in that query letter, if you're writing a cozy that comes in at 120,000 words, which is a perfectly acceptable length for a thriller, the market's just not going to accept it. So why also are these word counts acceptable? Remember, word count is money. It costs, the bigger the book, the more expensive it is for the publisher to produce. It takes more paper, the covers are bigger, it takes more time to edit, it takes more time in the production process. So, there are reasons why these genre standards exist. You can agree with them, you can not agree with them, you can live with them, or you can break the rules. Breaking the rules is there are no rules creatively in this business, but there are certainly rules that are inflicted or imposed or recommended, I guess is the better verb, by the publishers. So the one crime, the unforgivable crime in what I do for a living, in telling stories, is to squander drama. So you want to make sure that the story, as you tell it, will sustain the word length. The word length will sustain the story until the very end. And then when the story ends, you stop writing. That's the ideal length for a book. So that's it for now. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a link right over here, or there will be here shortly. And in the meantime, like my Facebook page, which is author John Gilstrap. In the meantime, take care, keep reading. I'm John Gilstrap.